Right, we are up for a real treat next. Our next speaker is an award-winning businessman, TEDx speaker, and CEO founder of On Spirit Global, which is a platform that creates next-generation entrepreneurs and business leaders who are ready to grow personally, scale fast, and build legacies. A former Businessman of the Year, Baiju, did I say it right again? Baiju! Baiju!
Hey baby, don't you know I'm good? Yeah, I'm feeling alright. 'Cause I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling alright. Baby, I'ma have the best freaking night of my life. And whatever
Do you like the music? Do you like the music? Who was that? Too loud. Oh, poor ears. Too loud. Like a bit of classical, a bit of Beethoven.
It's always one, isn't it?
There's always one. How are we doing this morning? Good? Did you enjoy? Wasn't Steve great? Hey? You should have played Chariots of Fire. Giving it that. Do. Can we have some Chariots of Fire when Steve comes on next? It's great. You need to come out yourself a little bit, yeah?
Oh, okay.
You know, it's just like, wins a gold medal, comes right? And then we had Anthony. Hey, really good, mate. Permission to speak. Permission to speak. What's this thing about? Do you ask for permission or forgiveness? Ooh, there's one there, isn't there? Great. So ambition. Ambition, is there a clicker? There you go. Thank you, Jala. Did I pronounce that right? Ambition. What does that mean? So there it means a little nice picture, like the picture? All good, isn't it? Great. Another picture? There you go, another one. T-shirt. I used to wear suits and like this. When I was in corporate, I did. And then when I left corporate, I've only wore tie twice. I wear a bow tie. And it's not like, for me, it sort of represented something there. That was a different identity. And I thought, what do I wear today? I thought, just going to be myself. And part of maximizing opportunities, you've got to be yourself. You can't be anything but yourself. Every one of you will look around and you think, oh, look at that person, look what they're doing. I want to know who's in the room. Put your hand up if you've got a service. You offer a service. You offer a service. What service, sir? What's the service? Political lobbying. Political? What do you think of Hancock in the jungle then? Can I swear? Can I swear and go political? I'm going to say neutral, but you know what I think about that. Anyway, political lobbying. Oh, wow. I don't know what question to ask next.
I had the same experience. I saw Al Murray live once, and he goes around the audience and picks on people. And they said, what do you do? I'm a political lobbyist. And he moved on very quickly.
Wow. I've never been compared to Al Murray, but that's a good one, right? Oh, not that funny. All right, anyway, so who else put their hand up? Who else? Yes, what do you do?
I run a counselling organisation.
Counselling? As in terms of dealing with trauma and stuff? And
Trauma, addiction, anxiety.
I think of mental illness, there's a lot about, isn't there? And with the pandemic,
There was a huge amount about.
huge amount. And we're going to touch upon that today a little bit. Not to the point, I'm not a counsellor. All right? There is a lot going on. I'm not a counsellor, I'm a psychologist, performance psychologist. And I explain what that means. It's a long word. What does it mean? It does help you be better versions of yourselves. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. Who sells products, actual like widgets, something as a widget, a product, not a service, non-service? Anybody? So most service businesses. Okay, great. Sir, what did you come here for today? What's the one thing that you wanted to get out today? I'm putting you on the spot, ain't I? Huh?
I don't. Bit of inspiration.
Bit of inspiration. I promise you I'll inspire you a little bit. Well, Steve must have inspired you. Broken his, smashed his leg in and still could do a triathlete. You choose, can't you choose? Swim, run, or cycle? You have to be show off, didn't you? Hey? You have to show off. So opportunity knocks. How many of you in your life, put your hand up, when you look back, you've missed an opportunity because you've not been brave enough? What was it missed, sir? What did you miss? You missed an opportunity. You missed about making more money. There was an opportunity, right? And there's reasons why we miss opportunity. So what is it? What does it prevent you? How could you maximize an opportunity? Who here believes sometimes there's opportunities available to other people and not to you? Who put your hand up? If you think there's opportunities that are available to others but not you. You do? You do? Well, that's a mindset. It's not true. Who here believes you can create an opportunity out of nothing? Absolutely. Now, there's conditions around that. There might be resource issues. There might be your mindset. It might be your journey. Might be timing. Like when Tony's talking about, Anthony, not Tony. Sorry, I do apologise. Anthony talked about when you ring someone up, it's never about anything but just timing. And that's the only reason they haven't entertained your service. It's not because you can't handle objections, not because your product or service isn't good. It's just timing. And time is everything. Who here is in a long-term relationship? Maybe not. What was the scenario that it was just timing that you met that person? Yeah? What was it, mate? What was it? Go on, tell us. How did you meet her?
It was turning up at a school governors meeting.
Right. You were a school governor?
No, I wasn't a school.
What were you? Student?
No.
How old is she?
I was a parent, and she was a parent in certain situations, and we listened to what was going, and the PTA said that last year they raised £300, and we just looked at one another and went, really?
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I became chairman of the PTA, she became treasurer, and in 5 years we raised £30,000.
Okay, well, where's the love thing? That's charity. Gives a toss about the money. Where's the where's
I think from that we developed a relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Did you fall in love?
Yes.
At first sight?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to say yes, mate. You got to say yes. Good flipping now. Doesn't it learn nothing? And how long you been together?
We've been engaged for 25 years.
What? He needs to ask the question, doesn't he? Are you ever going to ask the question?
I've asked the question.
And what she said?
She said, yeah, we'll have to think about that, but
Where is she? Is she at home?
she's at work.
Right. Can you FaceTime me in a minute? Oh, that's an opportunity, isn't it? Opportunity knocks, my friend. Hey? Look at him. Right. So was there a chance, looking back, whenever that parents' evening, whatever, that you may not have gone there because something's gone? Yeah, it's always a chance. So sometimes we underestimate time. I know you, didn't I? We underestimate timing. The very fact that you're here today is you can come in and say, right, I hope this is a good event. I hope that speaker gives it some. I hope that thing's there. Or you can make it so. You will make this event. Not because I'm any good or bad or Tony or Anthony. Sorry, Anthony or Steve. So, what is opportunity? Who's heard of this equation? Luck is opportunity that meets preparation. Do you believe in that? Right? That opportunity is all around us. And luck occurs if you're prepared to take the opportunity. But what stops you taking that? And for me, I have this little equation. To be prepared, you need to be able to perform. Right? In all aspects. But what is performance? Performance is your potential minus interference. What's in the way? What's in your way? This is my premise. I do not believe anybody knows their own potential. You don't. A butterfly can't see its own wings. You can't see your own potential. I can, though. I can see how good you are. You don't know how good you are. Because your ceiling is this. You think you're that good. I see that. But between that and that, you go, nah. You come up with excuses. I can't be that good because you don't understand me. You don't go what I've been through. I haven't got the money. I'm not ready. Not ready to expand. Are we? Are we? So what's in the way of interference? What is interference? What is your interference? So let me give you a little equation here. Right? There's a red pen here. Good. Imagine this. All of you, don't even imagine. I hope I do this right. All of you are born a perfect diamond. When you're born perfect. Now, I appreciate there's different circumstances, but just for the premise of this example, we're born perfect. We'll come out this bundle of joy, and our mothers and fathers or whatever, our guardians there, and just want to grow. There's nothing wrong. We just want to be loved, fed, and cared for. Right? And then what happens? What happens then is we start growing, and stuff happens. You get told off by mum and dad. You cry. Oh, what's that baby want? Another feed, right? And he keeps on going. Then you become a toddler, have a bit of a tantrum, told to sit down and shut up. And then you get teenagers, or you go to still, toddler young, and go sweets. You want presents. Oh, why are you always bothering me? Then you get to teenager, And then you want a girlfriend and boyfriend. Oh, God, I fancy someone. Oh, no, they don't like me. Oh, I must be rubbish. It's me. I go into class. I put my hand up. I've got a really good idea. I've got the answer. Teacher, oh, be quiet, please. It's not your turn. Oh, no. And then you got all this stuff. And then you go to college and university or your first job. Do you call that a cup of tea? It's not you make a cup of tea. No one taught you anything. Oh, another put down. Then you all get this stuff. And the occasional praise. Oh, is that luck? No. And then what happens is this. You have to go out in the big wide world because you've got to go and work, or you've got to start a business, or you want to be in a relationship, so you go to a parents' evening. Right? Because you want to, you're interested in a relationship, you want to get something. And what you do is this, is you then create a veneer around yourself. Right? This veneer of what I call looking good. Right? That looks like a blue suit. Looks like an earring. Looks like this. I look good. Look at my qualifications. Look at my books. Look, I'm articulate. There's nothing wrong with me. You don't understand. There's nothing wrong with me. Right? I'm performing at my best. But what's your interference? What gets in the way, really? How many of you truly know it's your mindset? You think positively with that, but you constantly compare. You constantly give yourself an excuse. It's all made up. It's made up in your head. However, there's reasons, rationale. We spoke to the lady at the back who does counselling. The level of this stuff that interferes is arranged. You've got over here, whereby you've got extreme trauma, and I get that. And there's so much work that you need to do, and I appreciate that here. And you've got over here, whereby the biggest trauma is they didn't get sweeties, and that's it. And then you've got everything else between. And your level of interference is your level. It's not for anybody to judge. But you've got to say to them, actually, where am I in that? And what is that interfering? And what am I doing about it? Where am I doing? And we've got to identify. The reason I don't put my hand up now is because once my teacher told me, please sit down, be quiet. And he thought, oh, that means that every time I do that, I'm told off. I won't do it again. And you carry that on. Like at the start when Steve asked us to applaud. We say that in jest or ripple. We are. We hold ourselves back. Because we're ashamed. What if I put my head up the parapet? Because 9 times out of 10, someone's going to chop me off. But what if they do? Am I nervous today? Is Steve nervous speaking? He went for that trauma. I want to be a motivational speaker. Anthony, we're feeling it. What if we come up there and you think we're rubbish? Who does he... Look at... I can't. It's rubbish. So you're broccoli, not the first one. Oh, Vivi. You think you're special? No, we're all individual. And part of our job, we're no different. We all do the same things in the morning and some midnight as well. So what's your interference? What gets in the way to get? Now get this right. This looking good is fine. But if you really want to perform, you've got to admit, okay, what part of this do I need to deal with? Right? And what level you deal with it, I don't know. But part of you knows. What's that one thing? It's that one thing you've got to let go of. Do you compare? Let go of that. Do you think you're not good enough? Let go of that. Do you think I need more information? Let go of that. Oh, my next slide's come up. We put that in there. That must have been me. And life's a game. This is what I think. Life is a game. The cameraman hates me because I'm moving around all over the shop. You good? You good? Well done, my friend. Right? Life's a game. And there's 3 games that you need to conquer. Game number 1 is the inner game, which is your mindset. But there's 2 parts of the inner game. The context you live your life and the impact you make. And I'm going to draw upon the context conversation in more detail in a moment. So first thing is your interference could be your mindset. Now you look at Steve, right? He's a runner. He had this accident. Doctor said, not only are you not going to run again, you're probably not going to walk again. Right? So physically, there was no evidence he's going to walk or run again. Right? Okay? The doctor said, like, based on law of averages, ain't going to happen. So just accept. He didn't accept. He got angry. But if he stayed in anger, he wouldn't progress. He got angry. Okay, now what do I need to do? Right? He came up with his game plan, the strategy. I'm going to take 1 step at a time. Literally 1 step at a time. He's not going to try and run another marathon. He's just going to try and get to the bench in that park. Do you get that? That's all he's going to do. Think about what Auntie talked to us. You don't try and go for the sale. Don't try and go for the clothes. Don't go to the bar and speak to her and say, do you want to go out with me? Do you want to come to bed with me tonight? You go for the next step, just permission. So wherever you are in your interference, what's the first next step? Does that make sense? And the second game is the outer game, is the actions you take. But it's not about the actions. Every one of you have taken actions, and I can prove it to you because you're here today. I promise you, it wasn't like beam me up Scotty. You got dressed, you brushed your teeth, you had a shower, and then you put your clothes on. Then you got in the car or the train or whatever, and then you came here. So you took some action. But the difference that makes a difference is the consistency and persistency action. Who's brave enough to put their hand up to say, sorry, my friend, who's brave enough to put their hand up to say, I'm not consistent in my actions? Go on, put your hand up. Go on. And you. Are you? And you. Yeah? And you. You're not consistent, are you? You are. We found one. We found one. And I'm going to ask him in a minute what he does. All right? So it could be, your interference could be where the context you live your life, it could be you haven't got a clear strategy. You haven't got a roadmap. But give it the strategy this. Most people want a strategy. Imagine this. Most people live their life and business in this way. Before I start my business or take that action, I want you to prove to me, and I'm going to give you like a driving analogy, that before I get in that car and I'm driving from here to Newcastle, I want you to guarantee me I have green lights all the way, no traffic, no accidents. Before I get in that car. Otherwise, I'm not going to believe you. I'm not ready yet. Because I want to prove to me that green lights. And most of you won't take an action because you want to be proven, I get green lights, I have no accidents, and there's no traffic. True? Yeah. Because we're afraid that if we go across the first traffic light, what do? Well, you have to stand still there. What if I come against a massive accident that just occurred? What do? You have to change your strategy. Okay, driving the car, I might have to take a B road, detour, whatever. But in life, you don't trust yourself. Say, okay, what's the next thing I could do? If I make this phone call and they say no, actually, do you know what? Anthony's giving me a slight strategy, slightly different. I'll try that. I don't know if it will work for me, but I won't know. Does that make sense? So the interference lies in one of these three games. So my question to you is this, a bit of interactory, a bit of group work now, is the inner game is your mindset. The game plan is your strategy or roadmap. The outer game is your actions. Let me ask you this. Is this clicking? Is this working? Which one is it? Here we go. In order of importance for you, there's no right or wrong answer. You've got 2 minutes in your groups, just or maybe in pairs. In order of importance, where do you think each of these games, for what comes up first for you, what do you need to have first right, and then what's second and what's third? And I'll tell you what mine. So some of you might say, for me, I must have my inner game. If my inner game's good, I can work out the rest. For some of you, it must be the game plan. For some of you, might be action. So get into pairs, 2 minutes, discuss, and I'll say, which one comes first for you? Go on, guys. Thank you very much. Right. Said, what for you? Which one came first? Game plan, explain.
Just like to have an understanding of what I'm going to try to achieve, and then work backwards, how I need to amend myself.
Yeah. And then the rest kicks in place. So for you, the game plan. So get this right. When you're feeling stuck or not what's going on, you first got, okay, actually, is my game plan, is my strategy clear? That's the first place that he would need to look. Who else? Yes, sir. What comes first for you? Inner game. Yeah. Explain.
I feel that if I've got my own affairs in order, then I can concentrate on all of the various other parts to be able to work out a game plan and so on.
I get that. So for you, if this is clear for you, kicks in place again. So that's a good indication. You can say, okay, things are not going well in your life, things are not happening. Where's my mind at? Who else? Let's have another volunteer. I'm not going because you. Yeah, go on. What comes first to you?
I'm the same game plan as
The gentleman there. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Because.
for a similar reason. I like to have knowledge of what I'm trying to do and achieve,
I like that.
and then I can work around that.
Superb. Who here had outer game first? Sir, and I come to you. Go on, explain, sir.
I know I'm good, and I know
All right. Fit now. All right.
good with. But the three, I've got 1,000,001 things to do. What order do I do them in? How do I get round to doing that, making that call?
I'll get there.
Getting that
So if you can
right?
sort that out.
There's too many other things going on.
Oh, well, you're a busy man, aren't you? Clearly. So I'm going to give you a concept later on. Remind me if I don't say. Talk about busy, and micro goals. Romby? Thank you. Right. Okay. So who else? Are you outer game? Julie, what was that outer game for you as well?
It's all about taking action even when
Okay.
you don't feel like you're ready.
I get it. Great. Right. What do you think comes first for me? You've known me for about 3 seconds, right? All right, love. Right. Put your hand up if you think inner game comes for me first. Okay, about 30-ish. Who thinks game plan? A few, not as many. Who thinks outer game? Less few. Some people didn't put a hand up. So what's that mean? So for me, what I realised, I thought it'd be inner game, but it's game plan, right? And I realised that when I was working on my life, my business, and bits and pieces, I've got a few books there, all the rest of it, is when I was getting foggy here, I thought, I need to work on my mindset. But what I realised, I got foggy, and then I thought, actually, I'm not clear on my roadmap. I'm not clear on the steps. The key with steps is that I might have like 10 steps, but step number 4 may change depending on the outcome of step number 2. Does that make sense? So planning is good, but you need to be agile. So for example, you might leave here, drive home from this hotel, and you've got a route home here, right? But you've got several routes. But depending on the incident, you might have to change. It's the same in life. And the reason we don't take the first action, because we might think, what if I don't get the result I want? You don't trust yourself to be brave enough to know what the next step is. There's only 3 things that occur when you take any action. Number 1, you get what you want or what you expect. Number 2, you don't get what you want or don't expect. Or number 3, a miracle. And that's it. And most people don't get miracles because they're afraid of number 2. How many of you, honest with me, be brave, put your hand up if there's an action you need to take related to your life or business that you've not taken because you're afraid of not getting the outcome you want? Hand up. Every one of you should put your hands up. There's a few putting that. Right? Everyone, yeah? Put your hands up if there's an action you're not taking that you know you should be taking. Put your hands up because you're afraid of the outcome. Yeah. Huh? What's that? Were you taking one?
I think we all should.
100%. And I'm going to give you a methodology. No, I'm going to give you a concept to work with that will guarantee that you take that action. Okay, and let me rephrase that. Not guarantee, that will guarantee how you deal with the outcome, whether the outcome is what you want or not want. And I'll show you that in a minute. So, some of you may have known me. See that person there? That was me. What are you squinting your eyes for? Yeah, I'm in a suit. Look at that. You know it's a blue suit. When you advance on blue suits, there's a different stage. Joking. Right. So, I was younger then, as you see, 2017. I didn't look like I am now, and I went for a little bit of a transformation. The next image is more of a revealing transformation. So for those of a nervous disposition, and I explain why I did this. So you see, I went from 86 kilos down to 69 kilos. I went for a big transformation and lost 20 kilos over 10 months. I changed my lifestyle. And the reason I changed my lifestyle is because I looked at my life at that time, I looked at the 3 games, and all I could describe as my life is being ordinary. I thought, that's not a good place. It wasn't rubbish. Yeah, I went for a divorce. It was probably an amicable divorce as possible, right? In terms of if amicable comes about. And I only compare that based when I hear other people's separations. I think, wow, that mine wasn't that bad. And I looked at my life, my business and everything else, and it was very ordinary. I thought, what can I control? Why don't I feel that energy? Why don't I feel a sense of achievement? Because I was focused on things that I couldn't control. I was coming up with loads of excuses. I was coming up with scenarios of why things weren't fair in my life. And I wasn't taking control. So I thought, what's the 2 things that I can completely 100% control? Number 1, what I put in my mouth. And number 2, how much I move. Simple. And that's what I did. So I found a coach, and I said, I don't want a diet. I don't want just some sort of cardio thing. I want to change my lifestyle. So when we go back to the inner game, I had to change not just my inner game, not just my game plan, not just my actions, but a whole shift in identity. And I want to show you what I call the be, do, have model, right? So imagine this, right? Is all of you, when you wake up in the day, even today and even when you're a child, you're focused on what you want. Right? Let's say have. Right? So most of you have come in here because you're running a business or you're part of a business. And what you really want is to grow the business, correct? Simple terms. How you grow the business is getting more customers, correct? And how do you get more customers? There's various ways. Marketing methodology, sales, like Auntie talked about, changing a mindset, like Steve talked about, right? So all of these things we've got to do over here to get what we want, right? So think about as we're growing up in our lives, as a baby, what do we want? We just want to be fed and loved, right? We get to toddlers, we want sweets. As a teenager, we might, start drinking. We want a relationship. As we get older, we want the house, we want the car, we want the holidays, we want the business, we want the money. So we have this list of wants. Does that make sense? Right? And in your head right now, you have a list of wants. You've got a bucket list of life things you want to achieve. You've got a list of wants in your business. If you're an employee, your boss has given you, these are your KPIs. You achieve these and you get this salary, you get this bonus and blah, blah, blah. Do you get that? Right? So automatically, where does your mind go when you have this list of wants? Where your mind goes is, okay, what do I need to do? Does that make sense? What do I need to do? So then what happens, got these pens, is you start listing all the things you need to do. Right, in order for me to go have a relationship, I need to go dating. In order for me to buy a car, I need to earn money. In order for me to, grow my business, I need to know how to find some more leads. I need to listen to Anthony's training, etc., etc. Does that make sense? So constantly, your day is filled with, what do I want? What do I do? 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 And I get this, right? Is it guaranteed that when you've worked out the do around something and you do that do, if you follow Anthony's methodology, permission to speak, building rapport, test drive. I remember, don't I? It's good, isn't it? Right? Test drive, take responsibility of the call. If you remember those steps, are you guaranteed to get that sale? No. So we're given this formula. We go in Google and we type in how to, and then it finishes it, whatever it is, how to cook a bolognese, how to find my perfect partner, how to grow my business, how to make $1 million using Forex, blah, blah, blah. We're constantly, tell me how. If you tell me how, I can then achieve. And we have that psychology going on. But you've just demonstrated that even if I have the perfect how, I'm never going to get what I want. So your life is constantly do, want, do, want, do, want, do, want, do, want. How does that feel? How does that feel? That's your life. That is your life. How does that feel? Good? It's all right. It can be good. Who feels exhausted? Put your hand up. Who feels that's tiring? That's draining. That's like, have a word with yourself, base. Give you some inspiration. Who wants inspiration? You, my friend. I'm not inspiring you, am I? Get off the stage, you're saying. Get off the stage. Give me something. And the reason we do this is we just want to be happy, rich, successful, peace, whatever it is for you, correct? But we never get there because we're constantly on this cycle of what do I need to do to get what I want? What do I need to do? And you went to this conference. Oh, what happened? Did I tell you how to get leads? Waste of time. At your expenses. Right? Because you come here, ambition conference, oh, it's really good. I'm going to come here and get some inspiration. I spoke to a gentleman here. I said, what do you want to get out today? And he said, and he's good answer. He goes, you know what? I'm an open book. I don't know what I don't know. Right? If I come here and say, I just want to know this tactic, I might miss other things. Great way of looking at it. 90% of what you hear today, in some context, you sort of know. You sort of know. You're just not doing the stuff. So, the context you live your life is what? Are you living your life from the context of what you want or who you want to be? So here's an idea. Instead of saying, right, I'm going to decide on what I want, I'm going to start here. So when I did the transformation, who do I need to be? I need to be someone who's disciplined in going to the gym. I need to be someone who eats the right foods and not has the excuse of having a McDonald's. I need to be someone who has integrity. I need to be someone who's honoring my word. I need to be someone who's truthful when someone asks me a question. I need to be someone that when Anthony's coaching me and he said, have you made those 10 calls? And he goes, yeah, I did, but the phone's not, the internet working. You're not that person full of excuses. Right? that you don't have a complaint vomiting from your mouth every other second. You don't have an excuse. So get this right. You can choose right now, 12:13 on the 15th of November, who you want to be. Right? So then you say, okay, I want to be this person. Whatever it is for you, you can write that down. Now, that person, if they sit there on the mountain doing kumbaya, are they going to achieve anything? No. You've got to do some stuff. Right? So now this person does. So Steve broke the leg, trauma, doctor says, see you later. Now, I need to be someone who doesn't accept that. Being that person, what's the action they take? I walk to that bench in that park that takes me half an hour for 10 yards. That's who I'm going to be. I'm going to be the someone who doesn't criticize or doesn't have a go at my physio when he gives me one more exercise. I'm going to be someone who draws my vision and say, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to be someone who wants to be a motivational speaker. So that someone, being that person, he has to join the PSA. PSA is a different organisation, don't go there. PSA. He has to be someone who listens to his physio. He has to be someone that in his darkest moments, he remembers who he's being. I promise you he had dark moments. Right? And then you have these list of do's based on this. So get this. If he does something from this point now and he doesn't get the outcome, where does he revert to? Does he revert to, oh my God, I need to change my tactics? Or actually, who am I being in this moment? Yeah? You make 10 phone calls, because that's part of your business role, and you get 9 no's. If you're coming from a place of want, well, there's no point making the 10th one. They're only going to say, no, I'm tired, I'm demotivated. No, I'm being someone who's committed to make the 10 dial. So I don't care what happens to the first 9. I'm making the 10th dial, because that's who I'm being. Who are you being to your life partner? We're going off to piss here. But who do you need to be to your life partner that she or he's not getting from you? Who missed the last date night? Who's the last time you said something to them without any conditions or did something for them? Have you made it clear to them that what you want? Who are you being in that relationship? Who are you being? Who am I being as a speaker here? Who is Steve and Anthony and the other speakers coming up? So if you shift your context from this moment onwards to who you want to be, oh, where's my little click? Here it is. Who you want to be to instead of what you want, everything changes in your life. Imagine walking down the road, you see a guy with bricks and cement. What are you doing? I'm building a wall. Okay. Walk down the road, another guy, bricks, cement. What are you doing? I'm building the cathedral. Context is different. So political lobbying. Right? He might be doing political lobbying in terms of the content and the service, but in the end context is to make the country better. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? But do you get what I'm saying though? Joking aside, is the end goal of what he is helping certain policies by the right people to communicate that you can make a fair choice. Does he get the context? Who's these? Who are these people? Are you here? Let's look. Who's this? Hello? Which one are you? Is that you? Yeah. Right, where's the rest of them? They're here? Where? Which one's you? There? Oh, yeah. Where's he? Where's he? Oh, why? Is he not good? Is he naughty boy? No? Right? He can't be trusted, right? So expert, imaginative, practical accounting solutions. So these people, this company could just do audits, bit of tax return, a few VATs, or they could be someone, do you know what? We are a partner in our client's business. We are representing, we are making sure that what we take care of is zero stress around this stuff. They're not selling this stuff. What they're selling is a stress-free environment so the business can go and grow. Do you get it? The context is different. The context is different. So what's the context you're living your life? And when you switch that context, everything changes. That's when opportunity comes to you. How long got? Another 20 minutes? Good, thank you. I have. Or before we go there. Does that make sense? What's landed for you? I'm going to pick on someone. You, sir. What's landed for you? What's coming up? What's the thoughts you're having? The person who always takes consistent action. spot on. Sometimes we think we can only be in our holidays, or when we go to some retreat where Aaron Brockovich or Julia Roberts is doing some kumbaya stuff. We can only be there. You can be any moment. You can be right now. You don't have to have the holiday to be that person. The stuff that you do. And there's this concept that I talk about, and I'm going to remind you here that it's called NATO. Right? It's not their true organisation. NATO stands for not attached to outcome. Everything you do, not attached to outcome. So you might say, okay, I'm speaking here, we've got the other speakers here, is we come and speak here and we want you guys to go away and give feedback. Oh, that was a great speaker. He was really good. She was really good, blah, 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 right? If I'm reliant on whether I think I've done a good job just based on your feedback, I'm attached to outcome. Deep down, I know when I've done a good job. Do you get that? Deep down, these speakers know when they've done a good job. Your feedback will validate, reinforce, give us an indication, or someone might say, that person wish he did that. Oh, okay, great, that's great feedback. And I use that feedback as an indicator of improving or doing something different. Does that make sense? But it's not a validation of me. So when you're not attached to outcome, everything frees up. Everything. You want freedom in your life? I'll give you a formula for freedom in your life. Right, freedom, my handwriting's rubbish, equals focus. We should get better pens in this conference, all right? Focus plus structure plus discipline, if you can read that. So if there's some area in your life you don't have freedom, where's your focus? Do you have structure and do you have discipline? And it shows up. And you know where that is. Could be in your sales, could be in your marketing, it could be in terms of your health and fitness, could be in your excuses that you give yourself. All right? I've got 2 minutes. I'm going to give you one tactic. Now, who here is busy? Put your hand up if you're busy. Really busy, right? I'm never busy. Right? When you think of busy, what comes up in your head? What feeling? What words?
Stress.
Right. Huh? Pressure, stress. Well, you said you're busy. What words come up in your head? Exhaustion. So why do you want to be busy? It's a mug's game. Stop being busy and start being productive and effective. If you feel busy, you're not productive. Say, in this moment, how can I be productive and effective? And I want to give you a strategy to win every single day, right? And this goal setting strategy is around micro goals. I hope this works. Oh, come on. Give me a pen that works. All right? I want you to write this down, right? How micro goals work, right? And this will ensure you win every day. Think about this, right? Is we live in hours, afternoon, morning, days, weeks, and months, right? Oh, thank you very much, right? So we usually think in days, right? Because we reset every morning. We'll wake up, brush our teeth, and we reset. Do you get that? And then the end of the day happens. And some of you might have a good morning or bedtime routine, but we work in units of days. And then we work in units of weeks, and then units of months. Does that make sense? And then depending on your nature, might be units of quarters, and then 6 months or a year. But we underestimate what we can do in a longer space of time, and we overestimate what we can do in a short space of time. Who here did the to-do lists? Put your hand up if you do this. Just put your hand up. Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up, because you put your hand up, if you always complete your to-do lists. So why do to-do lists? Right? You're setting yourself up for failure. Stop doing that. So micro goals has 3 core criteria. I set 3 micro goals every single day, and I ask my clients to do the same. Criteria number 1, you're totally in control of that goal. Right? Number 3, they're measurable. And number 4, you can finish it in 1 day. All right, so let me give you an example. Let me say to you, a micro goal I might have is to have 5 sales conversations. So let me ask, can I finish 5 sales conversations in 1 day? Yeah, I could. Could I, Tony? And today, sorry, could I finish 5 calls in 1 day? Right, is that measurable? All right, is it totally in control? No. Well, think about it. If the person doesn't pick the phone up, ain't nothing happening. There's no. So what is the micro goal? The micro goal is not making 5 sales conversations. The micro goal is I'm going to make 5 dials. Do you get it? So think about your to-do list. If they're not, you think about 3 micro goals every single day. You're totally in control. I'm writing a blog post. I'm going to send that email. I'm going to create that report. If a goal entails something else, somebody else needs something input, it's not a micro goal. And I promise you, you set 3 micro goals every single day, you will win every day. If you win every day, you'll win every week. And I promise you, you'll start having more success than you understand. Detach from outcome, change the context you live from, and ensure that you set micro goals. Use that formula, very simple. You're in control of your life. Does that help? Fantastic. I've got a gift for you. Who wants a gift? Who likes a gift? Who likes a freebie? Who likes a freebie? You get a book, my friend. Don't worry, you get a book, my friend. So on your desks, you will see this little leaflet. So I'm very proud that I'm just released this trilogy. The Change Your Game book I wrote 2 years ago. The Change Your Game book explains what I explained today in much detail. The Play Your Game book follows on from Change Your Game. What Play Your Game is this? Imagine you change the way you do certain things. Are you going to have a free reign, and are you going to always win? Or is there going to be resistance and failures? Yeah? There's going to be resistance and roadblocks. So Play Your Game talks about how you deal with that resistance and stay on top of your A game. The Win Your Game is a planner. It's a planner. It's a 90-day planner to ensure you win the other 2. So who would like these books free of charge? So if you go to your little leaflets here, right, on the back you see a QR code. If you click that QR code, scan it, put your details, and you'll have an email within 5 minutes with all those free books completely free of charge as PDFs, right? So you may do that today, click on the link, fill the details, you get that. If you would like the physical copies, I have them at the back, and there's a special offer if you want them physically. But this trilogy, the Play Your Game book, is not officially launched until next Tuesday, all right? So you've got to get a pre-offer and all the rest of it, and Win Your Game is the same as well. So everyone here can have them completely free as PDFs, download them, use the scan code. If you want them at lunchtime, you can come see me, and I'm happy to give you some offers. But we've got the trilogy as part of the raffle as well. So if you take part of the raffle, you get that as well. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you're taking something away from that, and I wish you all the success, and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.